So welcome everyone to Living Well with Cancer, brought to you by the Cancer Resource Center of the Finger Lakes and Cayuga Health Services Cancer Center here in Ithaca. Tonight's presentation is Essential Keys for Navigating the Holidays, brought to you by Anja Schneider, who is our guest this evening. And with that, Anja, I'm going to hand it to you, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Bert. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here, and thank you so much for having me. And I'm just gonna introduce myself real quick. I had cancer in 2018. I was 38 years old, and I was just married for 2 months. So that was my husband. So I'm from Germany, and my husband had just moved from the US because he's American to Germany. When I got diagnosed, he was there for 2 months, and it was a roller coaster for him too, for sure. And then, yeah, so I had breast cancer, I had a mastectomy, I had chemotherapy, and yeah, it all took about a year until all my treatments were over. And yeah, I thought I could just start living my life like before, and I think mentally I needed more time to get yeah, to adjust to what has happened to me. So I did not go back to my normal life. I was working in the movie business before, and so I decided after a year in 2020 we moved to the United States. So my husband would be in his country too. And this was a good time for me because I wasn't allowed to work because I applied for a green card, and this was the time when I met Daniela, who is kind of she invented these keys, and she really helped me to get over everything that happened and to navigate the life after cancer. So I'm still grateful that I met her, and I learned a lot from her. And this was the point when I also decided to start. I first became a meditation teacher, and then I did a life coach training, and yeah, so I kind of changed my whole life. And then I got the diagnosis that I had BRCA2, this gene mutation, and this opened up a whole new can of worms, so to say. So I had to do more surgeries, preventative surgeries, and the kind of second time with all the surgeries was easier to navigate for me because I had all these tools. And this is where I'm at now. I really want to help people to navigate this with the tools that I got and that helped me so much. So yeah, this is a little bit
Beautiful.
about me. And I think yeah, I'm open for questions at any time, so please interrupt me. And you can also, I think, put something in the chat, right, Bert? So if you don't want to be heard or on camera, just put a question in the chat if that feels right for you. And yeah, if you like, I would just invite you to take a deep breath and maybe take a moment and ask yourself. I heard that, and I think it's so beautiful. What is the weather inside of you today? If you want, you can put something in the chat, whatever comes up. I thought about this myself, and for me, it was foggy today, kind of. I was like, yeah, navigating all this workshop, and yeah, it was. But I think it's a good question to ask
It
it.
was what way for you?
It was foggy.
Foggy.
Foggy. It felt foggy
Yeah.
for me today. Yeah. I'm still getting over a cold, so it's kind of.
For me, the hurricane is just going away, and now it's just the bits of gusts and things to step over and I mean climb over, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's getting quieter throughout the day.
That's good.
Yeah, it was stormy before today.
Right. Then, so we have three keys for navigating the holidays tonight. And the first key is the key of no, simply no. And this kind of means that when you wake up in the morning, you can check on yourself and see how much energy do I have. So you can imagine you have, for example, 100 tokens in a basket, and not every morning you wake up with 100 tokens. Sometimes it's only 50. It really depends on how you slept and what was going on the day before, the week before, whatever happened to you. So when you wake up, just feel into your body, feel into your heart, feel into yourself, and ask yourself, how much energy do I have? And and then most importantly, where do I want to spend this energy? Or how much energy do I want to spend with other people? How much energy do I need for myself? And just look at your day and see what what comes up for you in the day that is an honest yes, where you say, this is really where I want spend my energy with, or this is not where I want to put my energy. And it could even be you have no energy and you just want to lay in bed. That's totally fine too. But it's just so important to become aware of what is going on, and to be mindful of, yeah, of your energy. So when you have when there's a holiday coming up, like Thanksgiving or Hanukkah or Christmas, and you wake up in the morning and you say, okay, I have only 50 tokens today, for example. How much time can I spend with my family? How much does that um, would that take? So, and then think about, is it maybe only 2 hours that you want to spend with your family? Is your energy enough for 2 hours, or can you spend 4 hours? Or is it even that you think the family is giving me energy, so I can fill my cup when I meet them? So just to be aware where this will bring you in this moment. And when you say no, um, become aware that an honest no is a yes to the person, because you're not just trying to do something, you're really giving the person your whole presence when you say yes. And when you say no, you also you tell the person, okay, I'm just not there today and I can't be present for you, and this is totally okay. This is totally fine. So so people then know that they can count on you when you're there and when you're not there, or when you say, okay, after 2 hours I have to go home. They know that you're honest with them, and that they maybe don't put too much on your plate, because they know you go if you can't anymore. So yeah, I think it's important to learn to say no. to keep your energy level. And it might even be you have to cook in the morning, and after half a day, you're like, okay, I thought I could do this. I thought I could be there all day, and I just noticed I can't, or I don't want to, or I need a break. Sometimes it could be just, you know what? I'm stepping out for an hour, and I'll come back. I have to lay down. This is just things that we are allowed to do, that I think everybody's allowed to do. I remember that when I was in the middle of my chemotherapy, my mother and father-in-law came over from America to Germany to visit me and my husband. And of course, we wanted to do a whole program for them. We wanted to show them everything. And also, I was in the middle of a cancer therapy. So it was like I really needed to say sometimes, I'm sorry, I can't. And this was so hard for me. And I really learned. I know we were on a horse race one day, and I sat there, and after 2 hours, I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. I have to go home. I'm really sorry. And everybody understood that, and it's hard sometimes to say that. And it's even hard for myself to acknowledge that I can't do anything anymore. I think that's also a big part of it, to say, okay, yeah, no. I have to admit that my power is not the power that I usually have, and I have to honor that, or I want to honor that. So this is for me one of the big learnings, to be able to say no, and also to see that people are okay with that, and that they honor that. And I'm just reading the chat. Oh, that's beautiful. And it's great to see the difference. I'm glad you say that you have peace inside of you, even if you're not at peace physically. I think this is a very big yeah, thank you for sharing that, Patricia. Yeah, do you have any questions about the key of saying no?
I do.
Yeah.
So inside of the design of this key, when you say no, and it's at a holiday, and someone responds with, like, it's clear, like they have an expectation of you. They expect you to be here for the whole thing because this is what we do. Because I find that comes up in holidays, especially when someone's going through a health crisis. It's well, now it's even more important that you be here.
Yeah.
And they can completely forget what the person's going through, even if they're not going through a crisis, just family expectations, but it can be magnified. And I love that you opened with no. Like, yeah, like you get to say no. And that's as generous a response as the yes, because you're letting them know you're not available. But I'm just curious or is there more to come in the rest of the presentation that will address that?
It is, so I think this is what I meant was an honest no in this moment, to tell your family, I know you would like me to be here, and I can't. right now. And these are my boundaries. This is what I have to do for myself. And I hope you understand that. And I will be there again when I can. And this is where I meant this, maybe not to do the whole, to do the complete no, and to say, just give me an hour. I'm gonna lay down for an hour to rest, and then I will be back. I think this might be the one of the best ways, and then to see how you feel. And I think people, so I always try to be as normal as I could during this time. I try to pretend. I know my husband at some point said to me, how is this possible? People come in and out, and you're always smiling. You're always like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. Everything's good. And then they leave, and I'm crushing. I'm just crying. I'm just, and this is because I didn't know the key of no at this point, because I did not, my energy was, it cost me so much to play the role of, don't worry about me. Yeah, I have cancer, but I'm okay. I'm fine. You see, I'm doing everything like I usually did. And this cost me so much. And this is, I think, the point that people need to understand, what it costs you to be there, and to be, and not in a bad way. I don't blame anybody, because they didn't know. I didn't tell them. I did not say, I'm sorry, I can't. And because I didn't want to say, I didn't even want to say I can't, because I tried to. And this, I think, in this time, I didn't have this example with the basket. I think, to say, my basket was completely empty, and I couldn't even be present with my husband after that, because I was burned out from trying. So I think, to make clear that you do want to be there totally, and it's costing you at this moment too much. So please give me this rest, and then I'll be back. I'll be there as much as I can.
So what I'm hearing you say is that it's when someone says, you're talking about the first key being no, it's like giving yourself permission to say no
Yeah.
and be with what comes, but be clear that when you're a no, you are a no, and that for you to hold that ground.
Yes, and the world, the no is a yes to everybody. It's not a no to the people. It's a yes, because I want to be fully present with you. Yes, I want to be fully present with myself. That's why I have to say no, or I want it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Yeah, anything else to the key of saying no? And yeah, so I would move on to the next key, which is the key of gratefulness. And I know gratefulness can be a big word, and I invite you to just maybe put your hand on your heart when you're able to, maybe even close your eyes, and think about something, someone, something that you're really literally grateful for, and try to imagine that you can bring this person or this pet or whatever it is right into your heart center. And bring your breath into your heart center and feel and just see what is there and just fully be with it and embrace this feeling of gratefulness for this one thing that is there for you. And imagine that that gratefulness is like even like a beverage that you could drink and fill your heart and fill your body with. And if gratefulness is maybe too generous, it can just be deep appreciation. Can even just be appreciation for your breath right now, for the next inhale. And try to really feel this gratefulness in your body. Try to step out of your brain. Your brain might tell you something that is connected to a but or if or anything. Just feel the gratefulness for whatever is in your heart right now. And let this just be this one moment when everything becomes too much. You know, you can feel into your heart. You can feel into your next breath. You can be thankful for your next breath, for your next heartbeat. And this is just a way to feel into your body when things around you are getting too much for you. And then also you can use this when there are just little things during your day. The gratefulness that you have the opportunity to see your family, the gratefulness that you get nourishing food, and just I know that it can be hard to sometimes be grateful, and this is where it's so important to start feeling into your body, into your heart. And to kind of use this as a refuge, you say, I think, right? Where you can go back. You can always go back to this one thing. I'm always seeing my little dog that that I bring into my heart. And when he looks at me, he had cancer this year. It was horrible. He had a big tumor on his eye, and he lost his eye. And I'm so grateful that he's still there. He made it, and now we're both cancer survivors, and I'm so grateful. And there's just no ifs or shoulds or whatever. Is when I'm thinking about my dog, this always grounds me.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so this is the gratefulness. Are there any questions? Okay, then we move to the next key, which is the key of regulation. And I invite you now to bring one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, and just breathe normally and see and just notice where you feel the breath. Yeah, if you want, you can put in the chat where you felt your breath. And most of the time, or a lot of us, just breathe into our heart, into our lungs, into our head center. And we don't even take the time to fully breathe into our belly to enjoy a full breath. And that is because we're constantly under stress. As soon as you start to feel your breath and really breathe in deep, you're able to calm yourself down. You can make a switch from the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic nervous system, and you can bring yourself out of the stress mode with your breath. So we can try some breath, and you can always try that laying down, because that is more, you can feel more it's better than when you're sitting, where your breath goes, and sometimes even follow your breath. So you can do a little practice when you're so I'll start with that first. So there's one practice that I always do when I get like a little agitated, or when I feel okay, I'm kind of getting out of my alignment with myself, out of peace with myself. It's from Qigong. I really love this practice. I'm gonna stand up. I hope you can see me. So you just bring your hands over your head. You can't see me. And then you throw whatever it is on the ground with an out breath. So you breathe in, and then you 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 throw on the ground whatever you don't need anymore. And I really like that. I always do that with my clients, and they don't want to stop this. So it's just like, and just push it all out. Let it out of your system. So that is one practice to just really fully let go of whatever you need to let go of, and then you can start doing a breath that is like you do 3 short sniffs in, so like that, and then a long exhale. So this is also a way to calm yourself down, and you can always practice that when you're not angry or you're not anxious, because when you're in the like when you're out of alignment, you're not going to think about this practice when you're not when you haven't done that before. So it can always help to inhale deep, to like do really long inhale, or you can even count. You can say, okay, I'm inhaling for 5. We can do that together. So we inhaled for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we exhale for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe you already feel that you're kind of calming down. And this is always a good practice. This is also when, so for example, when you're at the state where you notice you want to say no, and maybe you're not, you know that there's some contraction in your body, and you're like, ah, I want to say no, and I don't know how. And then if you don't want to step out for an hour, you could just go to the bathroom and say, okay, you go to the bathroom, you take a deep breath, you breathe out, and you just feel, and you literally feel in your body, and you say, okay, what is it that I need right now? What is it that I need? And then listen to what your body says, and don't let your brain be like, yeah, but mom wants that and my kids want that, and no, what do I want? Okay, this is what I want, and this might help you to make this decision, and then go out and say, listen, I just thought I need a break. Because your body is, most of the time, your body is telling you what it wants, or your gut, you have this gut feeling, or in your gut and your stomach, you have this weird feeling, and try to really go into that and feel into this feeling, and find out what it wants to tell you. And I think that's important. Is there any question about these short breathing techniques?
Well, while we're waiting to see if anything pops up in the chat, I'll say that immediately relaxed me. And I had to bring myself back to this presentation. And I went so far away, I couldn't even remember. Was it like five in, and what was the count? It was,
You can do 4 or 5 in, as long as the exhale is longer than the inhale.
just 4 in, and then it's like 7 out. Yeah, and then to ask myself a question from that space, it's like the answer is just so often just clear, because shedded away everything that can distract. And that's a great place to then go to, you know, yes or no, or likely to come up clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. I
A good
think that,
one.
yeah. Yeah, there are all these expectations all the time, and we can just can always ask ourselves too, what is nourishing for me right now and what is depleting? I think this is also a very important question that you can ask yourself with everything, anytime. Always ask yourself, is that nourishing or is that depleting? With what you eat, what you drink, the people you meet, are they good for you or are they not good for you? What is it that fills your cup? And then when you fill your cup, you can give to others more. And this is like also what you always hear in an airplane. You put on the oxygen mask first and then you help others. And especially in this situation, I think it's so important to say, yeah, I have to take my oxygen first, and then I can give from a full cup, and we can't give from an empty cup. And maybe that's something I just thought about, that to think about this the holiday situation, that you want to give a full cup, and therefore you might have to say no to some things, at least, to be able to come in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is the Qigong exercise. It's the best. And you can do that for an hour. And see what there's always more. And also what you also can do is, like, you can brush it off. It's also something you can be like, okay, I want to, or shake it. Shaking is also a good way to, like dogs, for example, they always do that in when they transition from one thing to the other, they shake off. It's kind of like, oh, I was outside, I go inside, and then they shake as if they let go of something and something new comes in.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant when I find my body just, having a response to a situation I just stepped out of, or even one that I'm in. I will jump and shake my whole body, jump and or shake my whole body, because someone brought to me that example of what dogs do. They're just like, yeah, I got startled. Oh, shake that one off. This came inside. Shake that off.
Yeah, yeah, right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and the thing with our breath is also, it can always bring us back in the moment. So when there is fear coming up or anxiety, to just try to focus on what is true right now. So right now, this is something I do a lot too, when my mind goes all over the place and I'm like, oh God, this is coming up and maybe I have another surgery, and then I'm just like, okay, what is true right now? Right now, I'm sitting here in a chair, I'm talking to you on Zoom. That's all that is true right now. And everything else is somewhere that we can't, yeah, no, none of us knows what's coming in the future. So to worry about it doesn't really help. That's just something, yeah, that I learned to try to stay as present as possible, to not follow my spiraling thoughts to something that is not even happening.
I am right there with you. It's because when we imagine a future and we prepare for this imagined future, we're not here and oh that just the imagination takes it and runs, right? But if I meet what comes when it comes and not before, that's there's no space for anything else. It's just what comes. And yeah, it changes everything. And sometimes, right, sometimes it's over, like it's now, and then now, and then now, keep bringing it back.
Right. Yeah, this is like I'm always saying I'm like a cowboy with a lasso. I'm kind of, my thoughts are like, okay, they're over there, and I'm like, nope, come back, come back. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. And I think this was so like I had a very big surgery. I had a deep flap surgery where it's a 14-hour surgery. I had that 2 years ago. And I went into the surgery, and people were like, do you want some pills to calm yourself down? And I was like, no, I'm fine. Are you not nervous? I'm like, no, right now I'm sitting here, right? Talking to you. And people come in, and I tried so much to stay in the moment that it didn't happen. I didn't let it happen. And this is yes. It is a lot of practice, and I still need to practice it. I'm still, but this is an everyday practice. It always happens again. I'm always going there, of course. And then, but the most important point is that you become aware of what is happening. The moment where you're like, okay, oh, I'm in the future, terrible future scenarios are happening. Interesting. And kind of like start to watch. I like the image of watching my thoughts as if I'm in a movie theater. So I'm sitting here, I'm watching, this is all here, and I'm like, okay. Oh, I'm there, I'm going there. Okay, good. I don't want to go there, because you can change that. You can say, no, I don't want to, I don't want to go there. I want to go somewhere else. And I know how hard it is. I'm still struggling with that, and it's like a daily exercise. And it's, when I think about this, when our dog, it was very, this was for me the hardest part of, he was bleeding all the time. It was really terrible. And I was always like, okay, we're all here. The dog is here, we're here. That's all that counts. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to all these places because the doctors told us he's gonna die. And like, really, it was tough. And I tried to not go there. I was like, nope, nope. And it was a challenge. A big challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I bring myself back to the present over and over and over. Others, it's like meditating, right? It's like, oh, wait, okay, I just spent 5 minutes completely in chaos and then went, oh, look what I'm doing. I'm in chaos right now. But it took 5 minutes of it before I noticed it was happening and bring it back and bring it back. No,
Yeah.
as you said, Patricia, it's like it's simple, but that does not mean but it's not easy.
No, it's not
And
easy.
it's, yeah.
Yeah, the pushing your buttons. This is the moment when somebody gets to you and triggers you, and you notice that. That's always so. There's always this first step to say, okay, I'm becoming aware of this. This is happening. And when you notice that, Jana, that's the first big step. You notice, okay, this person just triggered me. And when you then, instead of reacting immediately, when you step back, you say, whatever happens, you say, okay, I need 5 minutes, and just go outside, go to the bathroom, go wherever, breathe, do these breathing exercises, and ask yourself, what is really going on? Why is this person triggering me? What is the history of this? Because most of the time, it's not something. It's most of the time something that is constantly happening, that happened to you before. And when you become aware of this trigger, and you can go deep and look inside yourself. So why is this triggering me? Then you can respond in a different way, because now you're not reacting, because first of all, you took yourself out of the situation, you ask what is going on, and then you have the chance to respond instead of react. And this is, so yeah, I have a very simple example. I have to, my poor husband has to, so he is a person that is very, very able to just lay down and do nothing, which is something for me that I'm like, wow, there's all the dishes in the kitchen, and the dishwasher needs to be emptied, and he is laying down, and this triggers me. And then I found out, and it took me a long time, it took me coaching and everything, to find out that it is because I am not allowing myself to rest. Because there's a whole, it opens up a whole thing. I realized that my mother could never sit still, and once I would sit still, my mother was like running around and saying, hey, before things aren't done, you can't just sit there. It's just, what is wrong with you? Move. So I learned that I'm not allowed to rest. And this is so when I see my husband, this is the whole backstory that goes on, and I'm just agitated. I'm just agitated in that moment, and it took me a long time to realize why I'm agitated. And this always caused fights. So, and now I'm like, okay, would you? I know you're resting right now. Can I ask you to empty the dishwasher? And he always goes, of course, yeah, yeah, I'll do that later. I was gonna do that later. Like, okay. So all this stuff that was going on inside of me was totally unnecessary, because he wanted to do it anyway, and it was just because I can't see people rest because I don't allow it myself. So my advice is to step out of the situation. You don't have to go down this whole thing, but just to notice and feel back into your body and feel like, how would I like to react instead of how would I like to respond instead of just reacting. Did that answer your question, Jana? Okay, you're welcome. Okay.
I love that example.
Yeah. And this is, so I have this program with the 12 awareness keys, where you this goes over 3 months, and there you learn how to work with yourself and to find your triggers, to find out what is going on and what can I do in what situation. So every week you get a new key. So it's it's 12 keys. So you get a key every week, and then you work with this for a week. And whenever you get triggered, you use this key to deal with the situation. And then it's very interesting. And now you have a whole toolbox of 12 keys that you can always pull out of your drawer and be like, oh, this is going to help me now. So yeah, this is great. It saved a lot of marriage with this program, I think.
Beautiful. While there is a pause, I do want to say to everyone watching the recording that Anja's website is www.saltairspirit.com. That's just like it sounds, SaltairSpirit.com.
And my email is Anja, ANJA, @saltairspirit.com.
Thank you.
So yeah, and you can always book a free session with me, and we can talk more.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Patricia. I'm so happy to hear that.
Wonderful, as am I.
Yeah, please reach out if you have any questions after this, and if we can, if I can help in any way, I'm happy to answer.
Wonderful.
Even if more questions come up, you can feel free to email me or.
Oh, and your username is your email address. Minus the .com, Anja@saltairspirit. Perfect. Well, thank you
Oh yeah.
so much for being here and for your wonderful presentation. Certainly made a difference for me, and thank you all for attending. And
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you for having me again. It was beautiful.
all right, have a great night.
Have a